the approach we're going to be using is going to be different from what we've been doing. I will need you guys to tell me what to do so that we can start coding the challenge together. I think the whole thing is to write a quiz. I want us to do it together, and that will be the approach of today's class. Okay, so what do we start with? How do we approach a quiz system? What do we start with first?
We'll start with a function. We can as well start with a list.
Okay, what kind of list are we starting with? And if we are starting with the function,
so that list will,
go ahead.
That list will have a dictionary.
So we can call this our quiz. So how do we define the dictionary?
With a curly bracket.
Curly bracket. Okay. So then we can have questions and answers. So the structure is also important. You know, dictionary is always key and value, key and value, key and value. So we'll just start with 2 questions because the number of the questions does not really matter. Once you can start with 2, we can later, when we are done with the system, we can then come back and load as many questions as we want. You should be able to test with a minimal information. Don't go running and putting all the whole details and at the end you're overwhelmed. Just start with something simple. And in this case, what are we starting with? I will just say, what is the capital of Nigeria? That being our key. Now, this being our key, how do you specify value? You know, value can be anything, and value can also become a whole data type, you know, as in a whole complex object as well. So you are not limited to the kind of data you can hold here. So what's the structure going to be like?
Like option A. So I'm thinking it's going to be a set of options.
Okay, set of options. Why set? So this should now be A being Lagos, B being Uja, and I think they should take the capital to Delta State. Delta. Is this a viable result that we need to have? Because remember, when you are creating a data structure, you should also know the requirements of the program. The program should be able to say, hey, what is the capital of Nigeria? And the system, you already have the options, right? So the system should be able to print out, oh, these are the options, pick one. And after we must have picked one, the system should know the answer now. You should be able to find a way to put the answer in this question. So what's a better structure? This structure is structure number 1, kind of. Who has another structure that we can use to hold this information? Because this is a structure. This structure does not hold the answer, as in you can't pass answer into the structure, except you say, okay, the last thing is always going to be the answer. Since B is the answer, so the last one is going to be the answer. You can have something like this. I'm waiting for other alternative. My suggestion will be using another dictionary inside here. So if we want to make use of another dictionary inside here.
So let me guess. So the other dictionary will be giving the value to the question exactly.
So try now. You can try. So what will be the value if we're using dictionary? What will happen here? What should happen? What should this be replaced with?
It should be a colon and Abuja. B Abuja.
So it should be like this, right? So
yes.
What will be the key now?
The key will be A.
The key or the value.
And there's a key first now. There's a key. See, here is a key, right? And now this is a value. So inside this value that you've called the dictionary, you need to specify a key and value.
Then A, this double dot, then the answer, then the value as well. The key and value.
And sometimes no structure is correct or wrong. If you do not pick a good structure, you might end up suffering it in your coding. Okay, so this is what you are picking. Now, this does not also tell me what the answer is. So let me make it, okay, let me leave it like this. Do you get? This is saying A, B, C, D. It does not still tell me what the answer is. Let me go to quiz 3. So this, okay, what I'm doing here is that I'm creating, I'm listening to you guys and I'm putting out all possible data structure. This is what they call data structure. How you want to structure your data is very important to your execution. And because we're going to be looping through this data. So we've gotten this one. This is okay like this. The second part is where the challenge is, because you need to be able to state two things. You need to be able to know all the options available for easy deployment or for easy viewing, and you need to also be able to identify the answer. So let me give you guys a clue. You are not limited to how deep you can go in terms of okay, I've already provided a dictionary. It doesn't mean you can't have another dictionary or another set or another set of nested kind of structure. So what do you think?
We should create another key value. The key value, the value should answer each question correctly.
Okay, so
that we can now do 4.
So you are not saying that there should be a quiz and then there should be an answer separate. Is that what you are saying?
Yes.
So that in the first result,
yes, so that
you cannot provide the answer here.
Yeah, you're right.
And say answer for number 1 is A, or for example. So this is what you are going for.
Yes, sir. I think the best way to get the answer is to create another dictionary inside the quiz. And you know, dictionary, as you stated, has a key and value. So the value, the key is supposed to be the answer, while the value.
So what is your suggestion here? We've identified that this is going to be, yes.
We're going to create a new dictionary.
Okay. So what
we're going to give it a key name of answer.
So this one is going to be the answer, let's say A. But what about the other ones? So you're supposed to have something like this, where you have options. Yes. So you are close. So what then happens is that within your option, you can then go ahead and flex. What do you guys think about this approach?
Yes, sir. It looks a bit good.
Okay. So we'll clear all these ones.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll make this one quiz. Number 2, the method you guys are suggesting of having answer as another dictionary, there's nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing wrong with it. However, this method is better because you have all your information in one place. So for the purpose of this, let's create another question to at least have a loop sequence going up here. Let's now do comma to add the next data. I can just duplicate this and I change the question to, okay, where are we now? So now that we've been able to come up with this, how do you loop through? Obviously the next thing is for us to loop through. I don't give an expo, but the next thing is we need to be able to print out all these questions. So how do you loop through the quiz?
Yeah,
I can say Q in
quiz.
You're starting a block of code.
Then print Q.
So let's see what we have here. It gave us this. What is the capital of Nigeria? What is the official language? So this is working quite right. When you loop through a dictionary, you get the key. You know that the keys are unique. All the questions are unique. What that means is that you can actually do quiz bracket the questions by doing like this. Print quiz in bracket. You put any of the questions there, but we can't type this elegantly here. We need to have a way to dynamically get this, and we can already dynamically get this because the information is inside Q. So we can then say print my quiz in brackets. Instead of now saying manually putting this value, we'll just put a Q there because that Q is already being gotten from the loop we have here. So I just want to format this to be more expressive and say question 1 and then print this out for the console, then have this as format F. Then this one, let's first see the result before we move next. I don't want to do too many things at the same time, so I will take it gradually. So what you've just seen now is that it has been able to say question 1, what is the capital of Nigeria? It displays all this story here. So our next agenda, our next goal is to only display the options. How do you make it display the options? How do you make this dynamic?
Now we can create it.
Okay. Okay. So we do I is equal to 0. So
do I equals to 1 plus 1.
So that we can then do here. We can then do I. So if you run this again, it will then give you question 2. How to get to inner child is still the same method you used to get this guy. The reason why it's the same method because your next child, your next value is what? It's a dictionary. We got this whole information is a dictionary. And if this whole quiz was a dictionary, and to get the whole value, we use this bracket. So that means you need to use what? Another bracket to get the value. So this is where you will now specify manually the name of the key. Remember, this is a key, guys. The way we got the key here was through this queue here, and we have it here. But this one, we don't need to dynamically get it because we know that it should be options. So we can put options here. So it's now saying question 1, what is the capital of Nigeria? Option. So the next thing I want to do is to make what I want to do readable, right? So I want to be able to capture my option. I'll just use underscore. My option is equal to this value, right? So that I can make use of it inside here and say choose an option, and I'll put everything in brackets. Then I'll format it. Then I will escape my underscore option. This is just to make it clear. How do you collect input from the user? User answer is equal to input and say what's your answer. Obviously the person will put A, B, C, or D. That's the idea. The next thing is for you to compare what the person has entered with the system answer. How can you get the answer of the system?
That's the way you did the option.
Okay.
Quiz,
so, Q,
square brackets,
yeah,
square bracket, another one.
The next thing, how do you check if the answer is correct? So this one is easy now, right? So yeah, you do a conditional statement. So you do if
condition.
Yeah, we do if condition. If answer is equal to user answer, and this is where you need variable, so if they are equal to, then we can print
correct,
then else can print wrong. That's not the only thing we are doing, but for now let's first demo it. Another thing I want to add as an effect is that the person can enter capital letter. So to make sure that whatever the person enters, it bring it as lowercase. Look at our stuff is in lowercase, so that it's always reduced to lowercase. You can use string manipulation to make sure that the input, whatever they enter, you turn it to lowercase. So this is attached to string. So this part is very important. So if the person enter uppercase, it will always turn it to lowercase and put it inside here, so that you can compare lowercase with lowercase, and then it will give you answer. So let's do some tests and see what we have. So if I run this and if I press enter, it says wrong, and it asks me the next question. Wait, this one I want to get it, so let me say C, and then I press enter. It says correct. Now what we're about to do next is to do computation, to say, hey, you score 10 over 10, you score 1 over 2, you score this, you score that, you score this. So we are not yet done. How do we do the scoring? I want at the end for the system to score, to say you score so over so. So at the end, I want it to say print your score is X over X. Oh yeah, let's start. How do we capture it?
We need to create a variable first.
Okay, for what? Where we
always discuss. We initialize the value to 0.
Okay, so we have two variables we are dealing with now. So we have score and total score. So I've helped you guys give it a name. I'm sure you know what these two scores are for. So I'm gonna do score. The score is the user score. So let me give you the proper name and say user score, right? And the other one is called total score, which is the total score means obtainable score that you can have. Which one are we initializing?
Yeah, we should initialize user score equal to 0.
Okay, equal to 0. So what next? So how do we? Okay, we use the length. Okay.
The way you taught us, yes.
Okay, length function. So let's move on now. How do we check the user score? Under where?
Plus correct answer.
Oh no. After the if statement.
Okay.
The next block, user score plus supposed to.
Okay. What was even that shorthand self to add this one? Is it like this? Okay, I think this is shorthand. So let's give it a try. So if you run this now, and I think the first answer is A, and the second answer is C. So you say you scored 2/2. Good. Wrong. You can say the correct answer is, this one is not a big deal. You just say the correct answer is, you already know the answer here is here, and then you format your results. So this one is not a big deal. So if you try to run this and say A, oh, okay, let me do the next one, C. You say wrong, the correct answer is C. Okay.